This time around on Author's Corner, Charles Gates joins us. He has written a book called Darkness Before the Dawn. This is something that I think a lot of people can relate to, struggling with depression, trying to pursue dreams, the things that we deal with in life that so often gets swept under the rug, and there is no outlet for this. Charles, thanks for popping on.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to be here.
So let's talk about that. Why did you write this book?
Well, I wrote the book during one of the darkest times of my life. I had no way of reaching out. And so I started writing as a way of coping with what I was feeling. And when I first started, it was just a way to get my voice heard without actually having to speak to anyone, because I felt like nobody was there to listen to me. I felt so overlooked, and like nobody would pay any attention to my problems, and I needed a way to voice that without having to face the opinions of others. So it was a really dark time. I was going through depression, being really oppressed, and my thoughts were tormenting me. And my first couple poems were pretty dark, but really, I really started writing when I was 13. But until I was in a bad accident, it really wasn't awakened to, there was no pain behind my words, but what I've been through put fuel in the fire to add meaning behind my words. So the story really is a message of hope, of finding the dawn after the darkness, you know?
Yeah, and you talk about the poems, and that's what it is. And if you look at the poems, you've got, and you can tell it just even in seeing the list of them: falling in and out of love, beauty, Cupid's hate, treasured pain, skyline, shooting star, lonely bridge, the door with a broken hinge, everlasting memories. So in writing these poems and then pulling it all together in this book, that had to be really a big release for you, right? Because you've come out on the other side.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing about that is when I actually reached the other side, I didn't really know if that was what I was looking for. I thought in the book I referred to the dawn, but I didn't know what the dawn was. But it was a hope. It was something to hang on to that helped me cope with my loss, with my sacrifices, with my depression. It really became like an anchor to me, even though I didn't really know what that was. So I refer to that in the book, Darkness Before the Dawn, and it helped carry me through that. And now looking back at it, I realized that, when I finally reached that, what my dream is, wasn't the dream itself that I was chasing after, but it was the thought of something new, like of being a voice that others can listen to help cope through their own darkness.
I like that, being a voice. Well, we talked about you doing one of your poems for us, reciting one. Pull one out and do one for us, would you?
Yes, it was very difficult to pin one down for everyone, but I chose to do The Hill of Love and Rain. If you follow memory lane, you'll run into a storm, but not just any storm. It will hail icebergs of love and rain. This hill is invisible to the eye, but attacks the heart and inflicts pain. It will often leave you blind and drive you insane. Invade my mind until you see a stain. That's the cloud of darkness. It invites a crowd and shines a shroud of a darkened core. This core is leaking, dropping formless blood on the floor. I have let out and now I'm floating, with my body lying beyond a boat-locked door. Crack the code and open the door to find a way to see the world through my eyes. But stare too long and it will lead you blind, because my inner star burns to shine. Although I must follow the darkness to find the light, I thrive and I fight, but every path must lead to this. I'm climbing the wall at the end of my abyss, because a new journey must begin. In search of finding myself and letting go of all my sin, releasing the desire to turn around again. I take a final look back and I see the rain of burning flames. The droplets have burned the bridges of my past, so I can build a new foundation and sleep in peace at last.
Wow, so well done. I have chills. Those last couple of lines. And again, the book, these poems pulled together, Darkness Before the Dawn, Charles Gates Jr. And we're talking about, as you took us through this, depression where you had suicidal thoughts, an accident, then coming out on the other side and realizing that there was hope. How many poems do you think that you've written in your lifetime so far?
Well, I've written easily 300 or more. There's a lot that I actually started and I haven't finished yet that I'm trying to. I started working on them, and then I grew my gift, so now I have to go back and revise them. The ones that I didn't publish, I did remaster my first book, the one we're talking about now, but I want to go back and revise them and add the same thoughts into my newer poems. So I've written hundreds, and some of them I've even lost I'm deeply hurt by that loss, but that's like losing one of my children, you know.
I got you. So so the deal is that this really was, like I said in the beginning, it's really cathartic for you because it helped you get through the pain and what you were dealing with. And is your hope that other people will find the same thing in reading your poetry?
Yes. The message I want to portray in my poetry is that there is hope, that there is light after the darkness. The dawn comes after the darkness. And that if you hang on to that hope, you'll make it through. You'll pull through the darkness and whatever it is that you're going through. I've been through the valley of shadows. I've been through some very dark things, and the amount of funerals and stuff I've been through at that time and since then, it cannot even be counted. I can't even remember number them. So I'm very acquainted with grief, and the message I want to portray in that is that there is hope. Don't go through with what your thoughts are telling you. Like if you're having suicidal thoughts, don't just. It's not worth it. There is something to hold on to. You just gotta find what that is. For me, poetry was one of those things that helped me and to reach out, even if it was just reaching out to find who I really was. It became like a part of me. Poetry became a part of me.
Right. So
and
that
now.
So what happened was, for you, when you got desperate, when things looked really bleak, somehow you were drawn to writing poetry, and when you started to write that helped, like we were saying, that helped heal you, and that's what your message is to other people. Find whatever it is that they might see that can help them pull them through, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. And so because you've written all this poetry, did you ever think that, I mean, it's very cool that you pulled this all together. So many people talk about what they're going to do and that they're going to publish. I've talked about that a lot on the air, and you've actually done it. So congratulations for that. But what did that feel like when you pulled this all together and you put this Darkness Before Dawn book together? What was that like?
Well, when I've written a lot of it by hand because my laptop at the time was broken. So I had a binder that I was had all my written poetry in, and I just started rearranging it. And I didn't know how I wanted to portray it, but I put it together in such a delicate way. And when I published it, it exceeded my expectations of of what it would be like. How very cool. And if you see the book, it's Darkness Before the Dawn. You can get it on Amazon. Charles Gates Jr. I love the quote, "When the sun sets and I'm left to face my darkest hour, even my shadow leaves my side." Ooh, so good. Thank you so much for joining us. You're welcome.
I've been sitting in the dark, holding hands with a broken heart. We've been waiting for some time